All right, everyone, how's it going? This is me, Jeffrey. Thanks for tuning in. I'm here with my good buddy Jeff Daza. Say hello.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Today I'd like to talk about how I make my custom action figures. Like I've shown JD like the action figures, and he's been very impressed about them. Like, weren't you like impressed about them? How I made them?
I think my favorite. I think my out of all all the action figures, all the customs you ever made was the one with the what's that red figure that you made one time, and he was so big.
Oh, Lord Tyrek.
Lord Tyrek. I think he was one of my favorites.
Yeah, like Lord Tyrek, he was a bit of a challenge to do. So,
but I'm proud of you, man. You did a good job with that.
Yeah, I know it was a real challenge, but it was worth it in the end. Like, it took a little bit of trial and effort, but I was kind of surprised it actually worked. Like,
yeah, you put in your time, and you got really passionate about this, so that's good.
Yeah, you have to take all this passion into this project and make sure it looks good. So the first thing I want to tell you guys is knowing how to do safety when you're doing your customs, because doing these customs can be dangerous sometimes with certain materials like a Dremel or a X-Acto knife. So if you're using a Dremel or a X-Acto, I recommend you be like 18 and older, because they're dangerous tools. I don't use a Dremel because I don't have one, and the only time I use a X-Acto is for helping with the sculpting, like getting certain shapes out of the epoxy sculpt. Like the first thing, I didn't start out with a X-Acto on my first custom, which was like back in like years ago in like 2014. I just did with simple repaints and sculpting with Super Sculpey. That was before I knew that epoxy sculpt was a thing.
Well, yeah, man, I'm actually happy that you're actually putting the passion and the work in, and all your effort, man, is coming to show you that you're actually doing a better job than when you first did your customs, and then until now, like 2025, you did way better,
Yeah, like as time progressed, like I started getting back into the gig of making customs in 2019 by making my first custom of my OC, which used Tester's paint, but now I use Vallejo paint, which is a huge upgrade.
So let me ask you something. When you first made your custom, right?
Yeah.
What was the best thing? Like, what was the hardest thing you ever tried? Like, for example, what was the hardest thing to accomplish first? And then till now, in 2025, what's the easiest thing that you ever accomplished?
Well, the most important thing I'd had to accomplish was to make sure that the figurine can stand on its own.
Okay.
Especially if it has things like sculpted bits, like epoxy on it. Like, this was some things for some customs, like my custom of Gemerald or Jeffy, both versions 1 and 2. But
I think I've seen that before.
The second Jeffy I made as an action figure stands up much better than the old one. So that's why I retired the old one, because I have a new one that looks a little bit better and more higher quality.
You ever think of doing like a Broly kind of figurine?
A Broly figurine? I don't think I could do that, right? Because Broly has been released as a actual action figure.
No, but like, well, you know how you do your ponies and stuff?
Yeah.
Like,
a Broly pony? That actually would be pretty cool.
Something like that, yeah. Because green is your favorite color, of course.
Yeah.
And his hair turns green whenever he powers up.
Yeah, I could do a Broly pony, but I would have to find a good horse base to make it look a little bit realistic.
Okay.
To keep with the anime tone of Dragon Ball Z.
Well, yeah, you don't want to think that they're copying or anything.
Yeah, but if I was to do it in the My Little Pony style, I would have to find a good pony base with some articulation and make it resemble Broly.
Instead of like the hair being down, you should make the hair
look spiky.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the hair would probably be spiky, and I would have to make sure that Broly would have a tail, because pony logic. A pony needs to have a tail, because it's for balancing reasons.
Now I have a question of my own.
Okay.
Have you ever thought of like stepping up to the next level of like the way you edit your videos and stuff, like going to school or anything for graphic design?
Maybe. Like, I've thought of that, but I do all the work from home because it feels easier. It's like a self-employing hobby, but it's fun.
Yeah, I get
but it's worth the work. I mean, I have a few projects that I've got plans to make in the future, like Stable 17.
Yeah.
I don't know when that movie will be released, but I'll have to age restrict it because it's gonna be scary.
Well,
I mean, speaking of scary, October is actually coming up, which means Halloween and stuff. But then after Halloween is done, it'll be Thanksgiving in November, and then Christmas in December.
There's some online classes. I'm sorry for interrupting. There are online classes that you could take online instead of going to the school.
That is true. I mean, I do take online classes for making a video game that I'm making.
Nice.
I'm working on a Sonic the Hedgehog crossover game where there's a whole bunch of Sonic characters in it. Like, Sonic's in it, Tails is in it, Knuckles is in it. Nice. Even myself is in it. That's right, I'm a playable character in the game.
Nice. Now, are you going to release it anytime, or it's not to be released?
It's still being worked on because I work on it every Wednesday. It's going to look pretty good. It's looking pretty good so far. All the levels are done. I'm just learning how to add in sound effects, like, for the enemies.
I don't want you to spoil it for your fans, man.
I won't. I mean, I gave a little, like, sneak peek to the audience.
Nice.
When it gets released, it'll have a readme notice saying, like, because bosses can't be, like, let's say, worked on at the moment, so they'll be sharing the same code as the badniks. Like, the robots, basically.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so, I've seen other toy customizers, like, do their progress of basically making their action figures, like, with photos and,
like,
or
3D or 2D?
Like, pictures. Like, they take pictures of their progress.
Yeah, but how do
they take it with a camera or an iPhone or something like that.
Okay.
Or sometimes they'll use a iPhone or even a camcorder to record their progress, like how other YouTubers I've seen have done it, like Wake Angel 2001, Arcane 3000, PinkGamecube, and SpeedUpJesse have done. I've taken inspiration from those 4 toy customizers for my customs because they're pretty awesome toy customizers.
Okay, cool. Well, that's always good to hear. I realized that one of your favorite, I always wanted to ask you, who's your favorite YouTube customizer in today's 2025?
Oh man, it's actually a 3-way tie between Wake Angel 2001, PinkGamecube, and SpeedUpJesse.
So all those that you mentioned before
yeah.
Okay. Got it.
But I also like the customs made by Aleximus Prime, or even, like, let's say King's Customs. Yeah, King's Customs also makes Sonic customs.
Can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Now, from those 3 that you mentioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite one that they customed? And just give me one out of the base one, out of the 3.
For each one, right?
Yes.
For Wake Angel 2001, I really loved his custom of Mecha Sonic Mark II that used a Sonic Trooper as a base. Mm-hmm. For PinkGamecube, I really liked her Tikal figure, and for
Tikal figure.
Tikal the Echidna from Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, okay, thank you for
and for Arcane 3000, his, like, my favorite from his customs he's made was had to be Sally Acorn.
Okay, cool. Cool. So your favorite ones were just like animals in general?
Yeah, the characters from Sonic.
Nice. Okay, cool.
But if there was another one that I liked that Wake Angel 2001 made was E102 Gamma. Like, that's why I decided, like, I wanted to have a 3D printed Gamma model, so I did that. But my 3D printed Gamma is serving the test of time. Like, I had to fix him up a little bit, but he still stands. I just hope that Jack Specific makes a E102 Gamma figure in the future. If you don't know who Gamma is, he's a robot that is in Sonic Adventure. He's pretty cool. His story is amazing.
Now, Gamma is who again?
He's a robot created by Dr. Eggman. He's a robot that turns good.
So he's like that Sonic thing. What's that called? That Robot Sonic.
Yeah, he's like Metal Sonic, but except he's taller. He's like, Gamma's like a robot just like Metal Sonic, except like Gamma's powered by a bird inside his, like, torso area. Nice. Because he's a badnik. Okay. But Gamma after learning the sentience, of his relatives, he turns good, and he destroys the other shells of his quote unquote brothers, and then face off Beta, and then it's a you should watch the gameplay of Sonic Adventure, because E102 Gamma's story is pretty diverse, knowing that it was just something to see, and it's a shame that Gamma had to self-destruct to release his own bird, out of the shell. Yeah. But he's still a popular character. Is there any questions you want to say?
Not really.
Yeah. And another thing I want to talk about is, knowing what paints you have to use for these customs, right? So the paint I used to use was Tester's paint, and then I upgraded to Citadel paint, and now I use Vallejo paint, because Vallejo paint is probably the best in my opinion.
Cool.
It's a little bit expensive, but it's worth it.
Nice.
Basically, I when it comes to coloring areas that have a lot of color on them already, I use white paint for primer, and then I basically paint over that with the solid colors. But when it's a single color, I could just color over it, because it's just easier in my opinion. And then after that is done, I basically I varnish the paint with Vallejo's gloss varnish. I've learned about this after watching a few toy customizers say that it works well on their custom, so I give it a shot, and I've been enjoying the idea of putting gloss varnish on my figures to make them last longer, make the paint last longer, because also stay away from Apple Barrel, because Apple Barrel is more for let's say painting on paper or canvas. I mean, you could use it on an action figure, but it makes it look clunky. So you would have to use a Krylon varnish, a spray varnish by Krylon, to seal in the paint to make sure it doesn't crack. Because that's just how Apple Barrel works. That's kind of why I stick to Vallejo, because it lasts longer and it's more resilient to things like dust or water. That is when you varnish it. That is, it'll last way longer. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say before I wrap this up?
No, I'm just like I said, so proud of you, man. Keep up the good work on the YouTube channel. I know you got many broadcasts.
Many podcasts, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, that's about it. I feel pretty good about what I'm saying.
Alrighty. You want me to send a link to your channel so people could subscribe to you?
Sure, no worries.
Alright. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, for this 13.5-minute podcast. Subscribe to me and JD, and we'll see you next time. See you later, everyone.